All right, Chairman.
Thanks, Evan. Good afternoon. The Board of Adjustment is now in session. My name is Anthony Robinson, and I will be chairing today's meeting. Attending today's virtual meeting are board members Mona Parsley, Joe Klitzing, Deneen Vaughn, and Jim Dallas. Also in attendance for the city is Mary Hart Burton, zoning administrator for the city, Evan Winkler, community development planner for the city, who will represent the city in the cases we are hearing today, Andrea Gutierrez, lead zoning specialist. Our attorney for the board is Archer Mellon, and our court reporter is Laura Stewart. Today we will be hearing 4 cases. First, we will hear from the city's representative, who will explain why the permit could not be issued. Next, we will hear from the petitioner and or their representative. Please be prepared to explain your hardship and answer any inquiries from the board members. Then we will hear from those in favor of the appeal and then from those opposed. Please be concise, as testimony will be limited to 3 minutes per person. When you come online via video or telephone, please wait to be sworn in by the court reporter. Then please state your name and mailing address. To ensure proper records for our court reporters, we ask that those online or by telephone to please remain on mute. Following testimony on all of today's cases, the board will go into its deliberative portion of the hearing, at which time we will vote on all cases heard. The board will notify each applicant and or their representative of its decision by mail in about 2 weeks. You are welcome to remain during our deliberations. However, we will not hear additional testimony at that time. You may also call the lead zoning specialist, Drea, tomorrow at 314-622-3666 to learn the outcome of your appeal. Again, that number is 314-622-3666. Drea, will you please read appeal number 20614?
Appeal number 20614, 5857 Julian Avenue.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Good afternoon, board members. My name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis, and I'll be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to operate a licensed care facility, child daycare, for 20 children with cooking at 5857 Julian Avenue. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of Root and Rise concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue an occupancy permit authorizing the petitioner to operate a licensed care facility, child daycare at 5857 Julian Avenue and city block number 3824.00 is as follows. The present zoning for this address is B, two-family dwelling district. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to conserve the values of property throughout the city of St. Louis and protect the character and stability of residential, business, and industrial areas. It's also to regulate and restrict the location and use of buildings, structures, and land for trade, industry, residence, and other uses, and to regulate and restrict the intensity of those uses. The applicable zoning code provisions are section 26.16.010. Uses are prohibited. No structure or land shall be used for use other than those permitted in the district in which such premises are located, unless such use is permitted by other provisions of the zoning code. And then also section 26.24.020S, use regulations and conditional use summary. Use regulations and conditional uses of the B, two-family dwelling district do not allow the appellant's proposal as stated above. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. So in summary, the applicant is applying for an occupancy permit to operate a licensed child daycare for 20 children. It's located in our B, two-family dwelling district, which does not allow for child daycares or commercial daycares. Therefore, a use variance would be required prior to approval. The City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency states that this is in the West End neighborhood and falls within the We Collab planning area. However, the plan does not address daycare centers and therefore has no specific vision for this location and use. However, the 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan calls this a medium intensity neighborhood, which is intended to support a mix of uses, including neighborhoods serving businesses. A neighborhood serving use, like a child daycare, explicitly supports the general goals of the Strategic Land Use Plan, and therefore planning staff finds the request of appeal number 20614 is in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan. Are there any questions from the board?
From the
Thank
appellant,
you. Good afternoon,
Mr.
everyone.
Dennis.
Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon. Just a second, Mr. Dennis.
Okay.
We need to get you sworn in.
Raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, if you could state your name and mail-in address for the record.
Christopher Dennis, 5857 Julian 112.
Okay, Mr. Dennis, you cut out there, so I'm not sure that our court reporter was able to get that. If you could restate your mailing address.
Yes, 5857 Julian Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 63112.
Okay, proceed with your testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, city officials, and all other citizens and constituents, stakeholders join with us today. Is it okay if we share our screen real quick?
We cannot share screens. No.
Okay. My director is with me as well, Latoya, so she'll be testifying. Ms. Blair will be testifying. Should we swear her in as well, or wait until?
So the way we will proceed with that is after hearing your testimony. If she is obviously testifying in favor, I will request that, and then she will be allowed to give her testimony.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, my name is Christopher Dennis. I'm the founder and chief executive officer of TAG Learning Lab, where the creation of innovation, community-centered early learning environments are designed to nurture small humans with big wonder and big curiosity. I have more than 25 years of executive leadership across healthcare sectors, mission-driven organizations, and I bring system-based, people-first approach to early childhood education, combining operational excellence, strong governance, and a deep care for families and educators. My vision for the TAG Lab is rooted in equity, quality, and joyful discovery, ensuring children thrive in environments built for learning, belonging, and lifelong impact. TAG Early Learning Lab TAG Early Learning Lab, a newly childhood learning center that will serve families in our ward across the city. This project reflects exactly what we're working toward in the 10th ward: vibrant neighborhoods, strong families, and pathways of opportunity for our children. TAG Early Learning Lab brings a thoughtful, community-centered vision that places our young learners at the heart of the work, something I wholeheartedly champion. Approving this zoning request will support several priorities we are advancing together: expanding childcare access in the part of the city that urgently needs high-quality learning options, strengthening family stability by giving working parents reliable, nurturing care, revitalizing community spaces with programs that bring life, activity, and purpose to the ward, investing in our children early so that they have what they deserve. TAG Early Learning Lab is more than a child. It is a commitment to our neighbors, our neighborhood future, It aligns with my ongoing work to ensure that every family in the 10th Ward has access to safe, enriching, and empowering opportunities close to home.
I want to tag in here.
Oh, okay. So Ms. Blair, give me a moment.
Okay.
Any board members have any questions for the appellant? Jim? Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Dennis, thank you for appearing before us today. My first question, or maybe my only question, is this the first step in establishing this facility? I know you'll probably have to go through some as well. So is this the first step in the process or the last step in the process?
This is, I guess I can answer that kind of twofold. It was initially the first step to get this process started. Since I have been working with both the city and the state for inspections and permits, and this will probably be the last part based upon approval, and then we can certainly move forward.
Okay. Thank you. And I noticed is the plan to have drop off and pick up at on Julian Avenue, or or in the alley, or strictly on Julian Avenue?
On Julian Avenue, I think that will be the safest route.
All right. Evan, are there any standard conditions that we want to possibly consider during this meeting that we would need to read to Mr. Dennis?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Jim. So Mr. Dennis, if the board chooses to grant a variance, they sometimes will attach conditions to it that you must adhere to. So we typically read these standard conditions now. So if there's any concerns with them, you'd be able to talk about it with the board. So I'm going to go ahead and read those. Number 1 is that there shall be no more than X number of children on the premises at any given time. The application is for 20 children, I believe. Number 2 is that the hours of operation shall be limited to what you testify here to today. Number 3 is that all children must be escorted to and from the premises by an adult or parent. Number 4 is that the petitioner must obtain the proper permits from the City of St. Louis Building Division for any proposed signage at this location. Number 5, the petitioner must comply with all City of St. Louis building and ADA codes prior to operation. Number 6, the petitioner shall obtain and maintain a state of Missouri daycare license prior to operation. Number 7, the petitioner must obtain and maintain a City of St. Louis business license prior to operation. And number 8, the petitioner shall provide a commercial dumpster and establish a trash removal contract through a private source for regular pickups and maintain the entire premises in a clean, orderly appearance at all times. And then finally, number 9 is that the petitioner shall provide a refuse container on the exterior of the premises for use by customers and shall be emptied on a daily basis or more if needed. If another container is needed due to the level of business, it shall also be provided. Do any of those cause hesitation or concern for you, sir?
No, Evan, I think just some clarity on the commercial dumpster piece. Is that required? And do you situate that in the alley with the normal residential dumpsters?
Usually for like smaller waste producing operations, you can coordinate with a waste management company to get just like a roll off, like a normal roll off that they come and pick up off the street. But
Okay.
That would suffice to meet the requirement.
Great. Thanks, Evan. No further questions.
I have a question. Did you contact the neighborhood or the alderperson or anybody about what you're planning on here? I didn't notice any letters of support from them.
Yes, I've had communication with both. We have communicated with the block captain, who I believe is on the call. And also I've had some email and text exchanges with the alderwoman who asked for a draft letter of support. So she seems to be in support of it. She just wanted to know, was there any opposition from the neighborhood? Otherwise, she didn't have any quorums.
Is there a neighborhood association or a group there that you talk to, the general neighbors?
I did not talk to general neighbors. We did speak with Sharon when we initially started this process, and subsequent, we were supposed to have a meeting with the association, but that never took place. The neighborhood association, but it never took place.
Okay. And my last question, what is your hardship that makes this property appropriate for a daycare facility, commercial daycare facility?
Yeah, so the hardship is that it has to be zoned to be commercial, and it's to serve a need. The hardship is broader than me and what we can do with this property. It's for the community. It's for the need. It's a daycare desert in that area. And, hopefully it will stimulate some growth in family in the community.
Okay. Mona, your turn.
Mona? Go ahead, Mona.
Hi, Mr. Christopher. I guess my biggest concern is that you didn't speak directly to your immediate neighbors. Frankly, I wouldn't want a daycare next door to me that's open and using the backyard all summer long till 8 p.m. at night. And I got 20 kids, or maybe 15, running around screaming all afternoon and into the evening, disturbing my quiet enjoyment. And why would you not reach out to your neighbors immediately and check in to see how they feel about this daycare next door to them that they've not had to deal with before? And now I got a commercial business next door.
Yes, we did with the neighbor next door to the immediate right, to the immediate left. The house has been abandoned. And again, we reached out to the block captain. I own another property across the street. So, we did make the effort to do so, and would gladly follow up with neighbors if needed, from this point forward.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. So you reached out, you didn't get a hold of them, one property's abandoned. Can you be a little more clear to me, please?
Yes, we did talk to the neighbor directly next door. On the right side, on the left side, there is an abandoned house, an abandoned building. So we did not talk to that neighbor. So
What
we
the other
have
neighbor
also,
say?
I'm sorry.
What the one on the right say? You talked to them, but you didn't tell me what they said.
Oh, there was no opposition. They thought it was a good idea, something that's gravely needed for the kids and the community.
And you didn't get a letter of support or anything? Are they here with us today?
I did not get a letter of support from the neighbor. I was only seeking the letter of support from the alderwoman.
And we don't have that either.
That is correct, ma'am. Not at this juncture.
We don't have any letters of support from anybody.
That is correct, Mama. I think it's
And
gonna
I'm concerned, personally, as a board member, I'm concerned that you want to open a business in the middle of a residential area. That gives me concern, honestly, without any support from anybody.
I think there is support from the neighbors, and some are on that will certainly, hopefully attest
Okay.
to that. Yes.
All right, well, we'll wait and see. Thank you.
Mr. Dennis, you did testify that the block captain is on this Zoom call to testify in your favor. Is that correct?
She is on the call, Mr. Chairman. I'm not sure of what her testimony will be, but she is on the call. I thought I saw her name.
Okay. Yes, Jim.
I have one last question. Mr. Dennis, you mentioned 25 years of leadership. Is that in the daycare space? Do you have experience with operating daycares? Is that what you mean by 25 years of leadership?
25 years of leadership in the healthcare sector. not specifically daycare. I have been involved in daycares through that throughout my tenure, not directly as an owner or ownership, but I've hired a director who's on the call with us today, LaToya Blair, for that specific expertise.
Okay, thank you.
Any other, excuse me, any other board members have any questions?
Dennis, for the record, can you give the hours of operation you'd like to operate under?
Yes, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
And is that 7 days a week,
No, 5 days a week.
Monday through Friday?
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal? Ms. Blair, I think this would be
I'm sorry.
Miss
This
Dennis.
is Kayla Dennis. Yes. Sorry, I'm
Okay.
trying to get back to a space. I was pushed out. Yeah. So just a bit of background.
So, Miss Dennis, you have to
Oh,
be
I'm sorry.
sworn in before you can
Okay.
give testimony. We'll let you get situated.
I'm seated. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Please raise your right hand, Ms. Dennis. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Dennis, can you give us your name and mailing address for the record?
Sure. Kayla Dennis. Mailing address is 5858 Julian Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 63112.
Proceed with your testimony.
Yes. So I heard one of the board members make inquiry as to the type of support that was garnered and noted that we haven't received written notification. There is a text chain within the block that there are a few comments made there that support the initiative. And I guess if needed, we could seek a letter. Also, as noted, we have 2 properties on the block. I've lived in 3 properties on the block. The property that is immediate to the west, he noted that it was abandoned. It's not abandoned. There's a long, the Paynes own that property. We had an extended relationship with the Paynes. We support them with keeping the property viable, but there's no one living in that house. The block is comprised of most of the families are old, have been there generations, and we did not seek, I think, written permission, but it was important to us that the immediate block support the initiative. With that, I did speak with who I knew to be the block unit captain. I was hopeful of making a more formal presentation to the neighbors to share how, as a investment in the community and in the block, it was good for the block. As I shared, more of the families are mature. There's not a lot of activity on the block. It's really a way to revitalize the block with youth, to have some beautification to the block, to have an increase in the tax revenue for the block, hopefully to encourage. There are a couple of properties on the block that are vacant. There may be 2 that are derelict that we hope to address, but having some traffic and some positive activity on the block, I'm hoping will also encourage maybe some of those parents to want to join the community, seek home ownership on the block. So the things that are being proposed from this initiative are positive for the community. Instead of renting property to an individual, we're looking at how it can support 20 families and how it can also revitalize the immediate community. So that's my that's my support for the initiative. And again, Whereas, I'm sorry, I don't remember what the board member's name, but the lady who said that she didn't want children to hear children on the block, that I'd love to see children and happy children on a block. I'd love to have children next door who are laughing and enjoying and learning in my community. That's a way to be community. She made a note that we didn't get a written letter. We didn't know that that was necessary. So I think if that is part of, the appeal or, the proof that we feel that more than not, it's a well-received initiative. I guess that's something that I was ignorant to and that we could do. But to say that to hear 20 kids playing and laughing on a block, that's what community is made of.
Any board members have any questions?
Kayla, do you mind explaining how you're connected with the proposed business?
I am not personally connected with the proposed business, but as I shared, I've lived on the block for 30 years. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Christopher is my husband.
Oh, okay.
But I personally have no connection to
Got
the
it.
initiative. It really spurred out of, I lived on the block, as did my mother. And my mother cared for her children and grandchildren. And the block was just a lot more vibrant in that time. It's very unfortunate that in the immediate area, that's not that type of environment for our kids. My mother allowed kids who were at the bus stop, who were waiting in the cold, to come to her home and seek warmth and to seek protection and love. And that's I just, I love the block. I mean, if you've been there, they're beautiful 3-story, brick homes. The architecture is incredible, but it's a maturing block. We need some revitalization. We need some, a lifeline. And we believe that our children, will yield that. And we also believe that they should have a place that is well suited. You guys didn't have an opportunity to hear from Ms. Blair, but the programming for these kids is like a new city school. It's like it's not just a babysitting service. It's really something that will be beneficial to our youth and also allow for some employment opportunities for locals to be engaged and to further their career paths and education and contribute to the betterment and empowerment of families.
Thank you.
Ms. Dennis,
Mhm.
do you live on the block?
I did live on the block until maybe a year ago. So I have a sister who is in a family home there.
Okay, I guess I didn't want you to misunderstand what I was saying with regard to children. There's a different atmosphere when you have 15 kids in one small yard with regard to noise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not opposed to children. I have children in my life,
Okay.
and we have children on our block. It's
Mhm.
just a different noise environment
Yeah.
on a constant. If you've ever lived next door to a childcare facility that have 15 kids in the yard, because it's a small yard at the
It's
same
not a
time.
small yard, Ms. Parsley. So let me
I
share.
don't know, when you look at the width of the yard, it's like 25 feet wide. That's not a big
No,
yard.
it's
I
not
don't know, I'm
25
looking
feet.
at the tax record. It's not a big yard.
Yeah. Let me share. The lots are very large, Ms. Parsley. Right now, if it's 25 feet, it's by 40. If it's 25 feet, and I would say that it's more than 25 feet because I would say it's probably 36 feet wide. But
It
so
could be 50. You're right.
15,
It's a larger
yeah,
one.
yeah, it's a very large one. And let me share that the property directly to the west is abandoned and in very, very bad shape. That we would need to do some fencing and some appropriation with, and I've talked with
I thought you
Sharon
said
and
that
made
it
it-
wasn't abandoned and it was owned by the Payne family.
No, that's on the south side of the street. On the north side of the street, where the facility, I mean, where we're looking for the lab to be, that building is abandoned and in very, very bad shape. But
Sorry, I hate to interrupt. This is the court reporter. There is a quick issue with my software. Mr. Chairman, are we able to go off the record just for a second?
Sure. I think, Evan, do we need to go into closed session for that?
Well, what do you mean, Laura, off the record? You want us to stop the recording? Is that what you're asking for? And you need to
Yes,
ask us a
please.
question?
I am potentially having a tech issue.
Okay. Then yes, we would have to vote to go into closed session, and I'd have to put everybody in the waiting room.
We can pause.
I don't.
I don't think we need a closed session unless we're going to discuss some things that should be discussed only in a closed session. I think we can pause the meeting and allow for the court reporter to resolve her tech issue is what I think we should do.
Is that what you're
Okay.
requesting, Laura?
Yes, because
Okay.
my annotation software has paused
Okay.
briefly.
Okay, we will take a 5-minute recess for as long as the court reporter needs to get her software back up.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Dennis, I believe you were in the
yes, and I
process.
want to be respectful of your 3-minute timeline. But you know, in regards to the comments made, I thought it was relevant for me to share that. Also, in speaking to the noise level, these are small children. I think in the programming that they're considering, you wouldn't have 20 children outside at one time. They would be supervised. At one point, this was a very communal area. My mother's house was always full of children. I mean, although the lot across the street is a much larger lot, we didn't get complaints from our neighbors that the children were not unruly. They were not, it wasn't problematic that they were playing in the yard. Those types of issues did not happen. So just to address some of the comments from Ms. Parsley, and overall, just the feel of a block with young, vibrant kids is a whole different vibe. The block is a beautiful block, and a lot of the residents are just aging out of being in these large homes, and it's a great use of this type of property. I
Okay.
yield, Chairman. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Dennis. Any other board members have any questions? Okay, is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Ms. Blair, you have your hand raised. Let's get you sworn in.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Where?
Thank you.
Okay.
State your name and mailing address for the record.
Yes, Latoya Blair, 142 Oak Drive, St. Peter's 63376.
Okay, continue.
All right, so I just wanted to tag in quickly. I have the privilege of working with Christopher as the Center Executive Director of Programming and all of the things that have to do with the educational side of TAG Learning Lab. And so 17 years of education experience here. I was a teacher, curriculum coordinator, instructional coach. I have had the privilege of opening 2 STEAM academies. One was situated in a neighborhood, and the other is situated in Olivet. And so I believe, as well as, Christopher, and our vision is, basically early childhood is a fundamental right for all children to have, regardless of your zip code. Research and our needs assessment that we were prepared to share today talks about, the childcare desert that lies within St. Louis City. And so I wanted to be able to be a part of something greater and be able to provide, a partnership with Christopher that works to address that need. And when we talk about just a couple of questions that were brought up in regards to experience and things of that sort, I bring that other side with Christopher. And so when we talk about empowering the community and hiring qualified educators and allowing parents to drop their children off, go to work, being able to feed their families, and their children are learning, that is the feel of TAG Early Learning Lab. That's what we're trying to provide, a gardening opportunity for children, things that they may not have typically been able to be afforded at this point, based on whatever it is their environment has afforded them. We want to be able to do that for them. When we talk about, children outside playing, there's schedules that we work within. Okay, so like Caleb, Dennis talked about, they're not going to all be outside at the same time. But just moreover in that is the schedule. So when we think about, our pre-K classroom, they're going out at 11:30. Our twos are going out at 11 o'clock, things like that. So they're not outside all day, until 7 p.m. screaming, running around unsupervised, things of that sort. It is a school. And so children playing, gardening, planting, just being children, that's the field that we want to have. There is a second floor that will be filled with community resources, social workers, therapists, family therapists, resources for families that they may not have had access to except for when they set foot in TAG Early Learning Lab. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of reiterate that part of the project that we're trying to have here on Julie. I'm honored to work with Christopher, with this endeavor. I hope that you all see the benefit of empowering the community, because it starts there. And hopefully, we can move forward in the process. But I just wanted to tag in and, add a little bit of reason, in this conversation as well. So.
Okay. Any board members have any questions? Yes, Denise.
Yes, thank you all so much for what has already been shared. And Ms. Latoya, I heard what you did there with the tagging in. Thank you for that.
Like that.
You tagged in. My question is, how many employees will you have? I'm curious about that. And also, I just want to say that I appreciate that this whole thing is trying to be geared around resources and uplifting and helping families. Because often children don't, their parents only have a narrow view, especially when they are working a lot. So thank you very much for that. But how many employees?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that you noticed that was intentional. So we would, for the amount of students that we intend to serve, we will have 4 teachers, 1 director, a compliance advocate, a cook/support staff, social worker, and community liaison. So I have it listed. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Awesome. It sounds like it's going to be a great support for children and families. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other board members have any questions? Thank you, Ms. Blair. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay, is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal?
Yep. I am. I'm sorry. Do I need to raise my hand?
This
is Lucretia
Williams. Yes, Ms. Williams, you will need to be sworn in. Do you have video?
Yes.
Okay. So if you can come on line so that our court reporter can see that you have raised your hand and be sworn in, that would be great.
All right. I've got it on the video. Can you see me? Because I can't see myself.
No, we cannot see you. There's something in the screen, but no.
Oh, wait, hold on. Is it? I forgot. How about now?
Yes.
There, that's better.
Okay, you can see me now.
Okay.
Okay, great. My name's Lucretia Williams. I am
Miss Williams.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go on. Swear me in.
Please raise your right hand, ma'am.
All right.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, if you could state your name and mailing address for the record.
My name is Lucretia Williams. My mailing address is 5872 Julian Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay. Proceed with your testimony.
All right. First of all, this appeal, I just got word of this 2 days ago. I never knew about an initial application for this. I was told there was a posting on the property. There's a posting on a light post next door to the property, but which may have been the closest place they could have put it, but it was not, I was not advised, and the people I spoke with on the block were not advised that this permit had been applied for, denied, and then there was an appeal. I had no idea about this. Secondly, I moved on this block about 5 years ago. I think I brought the property that had been derelict, overgrown. People came from everywhere thanking me for buying the property, cleaning it up, and increasing their property values. The idea of having a commercial business in the middle of the block and very close to me is abhorrent to me. The idea that someone would come here with cars, noise. This block truly is Shangri-La. This is a beautiful, quiet block. And everybody on the block that live here, I believe, would be in support of denying this appeal, denying the permit, and the whole thing. I Googled daycare centers close to me. There were 10 that you could get to in less than 10 minutes. There's one you can walk to a block and a half from here. This is not a desert of childcare. We have childcare everywhere. All you have to do is just Google it. You will find out on Page, on Etzel, on every place. There's childcare here. We don't need this on our block. I believe the property values, which I helped to increase, as well as my own, would be damaged with a commercial business in the street. I'm sorry, on this street. There are cars, parking, drop-offs, pickups, all-day business. This is inappropriate for us and our block. I have spoken with the representative next door to me of Miss Payne's house. She is opposed to this. I have spoken with the man that bought the house, William Elliott, across the street. I believe it's 5869. He is opposed to this. I've spoken with Royce Fingers. He owns 5809, if I'm not mistaken. He is opposed to this. So I'm not hearing any support. I'm hearing opposition. So at this point, the people who are testifying, and no disrespect to anybody trying to make some money, but they don't live on this block. Ms. Dennis said her address was 5858 Julie, and then she turned around and said, I moved a year ago. Mr. Dennis, I don't know if he's in the house or not. From investigations from someone else said he lives on Duncan. I can't swear to this. I'm just saying what the paperwork has shown. So I think we're at a point now where this appeal permit, everything should be denied. And I believe, again, no one ever spoke to me. He said he contacted Sharon. Sharon is one person, one house on this block. I never heard a word. And again, she's on. I haven't heard her in support. I don't know if she's in support or not. Sharon, no disrespect. But what I'm saying is that it will cause me great harm to have a commercial property on this block. And if anybody's ever driven this block, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. There's hardly any traffic. I moved over here because of the beauty of the block, the land. I had 2 lots, was going to buy 3. right together. I've developed my property, put over $300,000 in my property. Why would I want a commercial property across the street from me with traffic and all of that? If it was a small little home daycare, I wouldn't have said a word, but you're talking about a commercial business in the middle of a residential block. And I don't even know how many kids are even on this block. This is a block of senior citizens, including me. So you don't ever see kids up and down the street. There may be a few houses that have them. I don't know, but this is not the place. This is not the place. So I'll yield at this point and you all can take it from there. I'm opposed officially. Thank you.
Any board members have any questions? Thank you, Ms. Williams. Is there anyone else here to testify in opposition to this appeal?
I'd like to speak since my name's been mentioned 1,000 times. This is Sharon Higgins. Can y'all hear me?
Ms. Higgins, we hear you just fine. Let's get you sworn in.
Okay, thanks.
Please raise your right hand, Ms. Higgins.
Wait, that was my left. Hold on. Okay.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am. I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Higgins, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Yes, my name is Sharon Higgins. Mailing address 5879 Julian Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri 63112.
Okay, proceed with your testimony.
All right, thank you. I just want to confirm, I did have a conversation with Kayla, I think it was October the 21st, that we talked, and she told me about the plans that they had for a daycare center and asked that we get a meeting, wanted to come to a meeting, a block meeting. So I do represent the block typically myself, as well as Bill Levy, who's not on the call. I don't think the two of us act as sort of co-block captains. So yeah, there was a call October 21st, requested that she come to a meeting to talk about this daycare center. Unfortunately, we never had the meeting, right? So that was the last time I had the conversation with her. We did not get the meeting scheduled. And the next interaction was when my neighbor, Ms. Taborn, who is on the call, reached out to me to say that there was a sign posted. I think what would have been better is that there would have been maybe a couple more interactions, right? And that we did actually have the meeting so we can hear some of this. But we moved into action. Our block has a text message group. So as soon as Ms. Taborn contacted us, we put the information in the text group, which covers, I'd say, a good 80% of the people on the block. And in that text message group, everybody's not active, as you can imagine, right? This is a group text, so some people are active, some people are not. And there were just a lot of questions, and a lot of questions outside of the text message that didn't even show up. So Kayla, she's on the text message group. So is Lucretia. They're both on there. So she was able to answer some of those questions, but there was really a lot of angst, I'll say. And I think a lot of that is because they were they were caught off guard. So I may have had a conversation with my immediate neighbor, the Kellys, but did not speak, at least not at length, to anyone else on the block. So that it was a surprise to them, unless, Kayla or Christopher was able to have a conversation with anyone else. I do want to also state about our block. It is mostly seniors that live on the block, of course, but there are a couple of families who have children regularly on our block. So there are children at the other end, closer to the Julian. I think there's 3 boys that live in that house. And there's, you'll see a lot of kids who visit these houses regularly, whether it's their grandchildren or other family members. They may not live there, but they do visit. So I'd say that there was an attempt to contact the neighbors. There was an effort to do that. But I think a larger effort would have been good, especially given the back and forth that was happening on the text message over the last couple of days. So I'm not going to say I'm opposed necessarily, but I can say that as a whole, it does seem our neighbors are opposed. There was one neighbor on the text message that supported a daycare center. Sorry. Hold up. That was in support, but I have not heard from anyone else that they were in support unfortunately. You know, what I don't want, and I think I said this to Kayla, I may not have, but you know, the property, from my knowledge, is vacant. And to me, my initial reaction was like, well, at least it's not vacant if there's something there. Because we do have a number of properties that are not occupied 100% of the time on our block. So the one positive would have been that, oh, somebody will at least be there and there will be some sort of activity. But I'll have to go with the consensus of the block. And if the block is not in support, then I'll have to go with them on that. Can I answer any
Okay.
questions or anything? That ends my testimony.
Any board members have any questions?
I see a hand up.
Thanks. No,
Can you guys hear me?
Mr. Dennis cannot respond to your
Hello?
question.
Ms. Higgins, do you have a contact with the alderperson?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I cannot hear you. I think.
Can you hear me, Ms. Higgins?
Hello? I'll
Okay.
drop off and come back on.
Hello.
Yes.
I don't know if you can hear me or not, and this is Eleanor Taborn, and I'd like to speak, but I'm not sure I'm in the correct order. I'm not sure whether I've muted or unmuted.
Well, we can hear you, Ms. Taborn. Are you looking to testify in favor or against this appeal?
Against.
Okay. I will call you when we are ready for your testimony.
So shall I leave my phone the same? It's nothing, I shouldn't do *6 now, right? Just leave it as it is?
As long as you don't have anything in the background that would interrupt
Okay, I'm
this
fine.
hearing.
I'll leave it this way. Okay, I'm fine. I won't say anything, and no one's here.
Ms. Higgins should be joining us. We just let her in.
Okay.
Hi, I'm back.
Ms. Higgins,
Yes, sir.
as the block captain, do you have access to the alderperson?
Yeah, I do. Ms. Shami?
Has she brought up anything about this proposal?
No, the first word I got of it was from Ms. Dennis.
Okay.
So no, no, I did not hear about it from our alderperson.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And I don't know where I left off, guys, in terms of where I stopped recording. So I don't know if you heard everything or not.
I think we did. You just could not hear us.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the commissioner had a question for you, but I think we're good. Does any other board members have any questions? Okay. Thank you, Ms. Higgins. Ms. Taborn, let's get you sworn in. Do you have video, or are you?
No, I'm on the phone.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Taborn, since you are on the phone, this is the court reporter. Can you please verbally confirm that your right hand is raised?
Yes, my right hand is raised.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Taborn, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Eleanor Taborn, 5846 Julian.
Okay, proceed with your testimony.
First of all, I'd like to say I was very surprised. I believe it was during the holidays that I saw this sign on the post. And when I read it, I was just amazed. Because I had not received any information on it. So I called Shameen, and then I talked to Sharon. And Shameen was very helpful in providing us with the guidance, a copy of the guidance for public observing meetings. And she also gave us a revised agenda. I forwarded those to Sharon, and she forwarded them to all of the people on the block. So I'm very disappointed that we were not all informed. Although Sharon was given the information, it was not her responsibility to get with all of us on an individual basis. So first of all, let me just give you a little background. I'm a resident and homeowner of this house, 5846 Julian. And I also own a lot with the address of 5836 Julian. I'm here to testify the appeal 20614, the Tag Early Lab LLC. I've lived here on this block since 1990, over 35 years. And what attracted my husband and me to this particular neighborhood, and as you can see, I'm getting very emotional, is because it was quiet and the unique architecture of the homes. He loved it. He passed away in 2020. Now, although there are some vacant lots and 1 or 2 vacant homes, we felt there was lots of potential for this street, and there has been. I often like to brag about Miss Williams' home as my friends are driving me home. And then we look around and I can tell them about our co-captains and where they live. This was and still is a very stable residential street. The neighbors truly care about their homes, and some have lived here for over 50 years, and that's my neighbor. We take pride in our block, and we want to preserve our property. We have 2 block captains, and they're very involved in the West End community, Sharon Higgins and Bill Levy. They keep us informed and help us to stay in communication with each other. I'm saying all of this to emphasize the fact that we are a proud residential community, classified as a Zone B 2-family dwelling district. We cannot afford to turn this street into a mixed-use zone like Page Avenue, which is only 1 block north of us. As a retired teacher, guidance counselor, and high school administrator, I understand the concepts and the goals of the TAG Early Learning Lab, and I think they're commendable. But when it comes down to it, it is still a business operation. So I'll make it short. The hours are too early for us. I know the sounds of kids sound wonderful to some people, but some of us don't want that. So I was also concerned about the trash and other things that have been addressed, so I won't talk about that either. But what I will say is we are a strong community. We want to stay there, and we don't want to be classified as a business district. So I definitely oppose this venture. Thank you.
Any board members have any questions? Thank you, Ms. Taborn. Is there anyone else here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Ms. Eckelkamp, let's get you sworn in.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Sure. It's Kate Eckelkamp, 1520 Market Street, room 4000, St. Louis, Missouri, 63103.
Proceed.
I was not here to be in opposition or in favor, but I did want to point out that the Department of Education, DESE, with that you would need to apply to have a family child care home. So when you do a license, it's for no more than 10 children for any part of a 24-hour day in a provider's home or a home-like setting. I just wanted to make that noted since they were applying for one that was for with 20 children.
Right.
Mr.
They're not
Chairman?
applying for that. They're applying
Yeah.
for a commercial entity, Kate.
It would not be considered a home-like setting.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mayor.
can I please explain this?
Yes.
Kate, you are correct. Home daycare is limited to 10 children, but they have applied for a commercial occupancy permit here. So that does allow them to apply for more than 10 children. However, they have applied in a zoning district that does not allow daycare, period, whether it's commercial or home. So that's what they're here seeking a variance for today.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Mona, was there anything you wanted to add?
No, sir.
Okay. Any board members have any questions? Thank you, Ms. Eckelkamp. Is there anyone else here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Okay, Mr. Dennis, is there anything that you would like to add? I will give you 2 minutes. You are muted.
Yes, just some small rebuttal, and just for as a process, I guess I wasn't very astute of how it should work. I didn't know we needed to obtain letters from the neighborhood. I can see where that would have been beneficial. But we followed the protocol that we were given by the city. Also, I'd like to rebuke the statement that there's numerous daycares in the area. It may be on Google, but that's not really in existence. Also, I look at the quality of those daycares, the quality, the standards that we would have is just not there. The property has been rented we've kept tenants in it for the past 15 years. We were just simply looking to better the community for moving from supporting one family to 20 families. But I'd like to thank the committee for the hearing, and the community, the block also has another commercial property on it. There's a church that routinely occupies lots of cars up and down the street. Definitely not in opposition to that. I just wanted to bring that to light, that there is a commercial building there.
Okay, so Mr. Dennis, there's mention of meetings from or attempted meetings from the initial conversation back in October. Why did those meetings not happen?
Hindsight being 2020, I see that I should have followed up individually with the neighbors. We were going through what we thought was the protocol, go to the block captain, who we were hopeful of facilitating a meeting or having us come in and present at one of the neighborhood meetings, but that did not take place as well. I also made extreme efforts to get in touch with the alderwoman. We had text and email communication. My communication with her seemed to be in support, not in opposition. Again, as I stated earlier, she did want to know the concern of the other neighbors on the block.
Which sounds okay, but you couldn't really provide that because you didn't communicate with the other neighbors.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dennis. Ms. Higgins, as the block captain, is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I think the neighbors all said it all. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mona.
I just want to make one quick statement. When we're talking about the church isn't actually on Julian. Just for the record, it's on Hamilton. It's at the corner of Hamilton and Julian, and it also has a parking lot, so it is a bit different for the block. So it's not on Julian, it's on Hamilton, and I just wanted that to be on the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Mona. With that, I will read into the record exhibits, a certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, and a memo from Planning and Urban Design. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. Drea, can you read appeal number 11990?
Appeal number 11990. 2149 South Grand Boulevard.
Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Again, good afternoon, board members. My name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis, and I'll be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to complete interior and exterior alterations per plans, zoning only for a nonprofit and resale shop at 2149 South Grand Boulevard. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of Compton Heights Christian Church, Kara Patrick I'm going to butcher this, but Vander Tuin, concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue a building permit, authorizing the petitioner to complete interior and exterior alterations per plans, zoning only for a nonprofit and resale shop at 2149 South Grand Boulevard, located in city block number 2118.00. The present zoning for this address is Zone A, Single Family Dwelling District. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to conserve the values of property throughout the city of St. Louis and protect the character and stability of residential, business, and industrial areas. It's also to regulate and restrict the location and use of buildings, structures, and land for trade, industry, residence, and other uses, and to regulate and restrict the intensity of those uses. The applicable zoning code provisions are section 26.68.020, structures prohibited. No structure shall be erected, placed, enlarged, or structurally altered unless such action shall make the premises upon which it shall stand conform to the regulations of the district in which the premises are located, unless authorized by the provisions of the zoning code. And then also section 26.20.020 and or 26.20.025. The use regulations and conditional uses of the A single family dwelling district do not allow the petitioner's proposal as stated above. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. So in summary, the applicant is applying for interior and exterior alterations. It's currently an existing church, and they would like to do renovations for a nonprofit that will include classrooms for children and a shop for fixing bicycles, as well as space for resale of those bicycles. It's located in the A single family dwelling district, which does not allow the proposed use. Therefore, a use variance would be required prior to approval. The City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency states that there's no adopted neighborhood plan covering this location. The 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan calls this a high-intensity corridor. This designation encourages active ground floors with many types of commercial activities and many types and sizes of retail. It's also intended to allow community-serving retail that supports pedestrian-oriented environments. This type of use at this location helps meet a number of the goals of the Strategic Land Use Plan, and therefore planning staff finds the request of appeal number 11990 is in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan. Are there any questions from the board?
Okay, let's hear from the appellant. Mr. Vanderton, let's get you sworn in.
Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Patrick Vandertime, 2414 Menard Street.
Okay, proceed with your testimony.
Again, I'm Patrick. I'm the director of St. Louis Bee Works, and I'm here regarding rezoning requests for the former church building at 2149 Grand Avenue to allow Bee Works to operate from this location. Bee Works is a youth organization providing free programs to youth across our region. The request we're here for today would allow our organization to bring our organization to this building in the Shaw neighborhood. We started in the Shaw neighborhood almost 40 years ago. And while I'd love to share more about our youth programs, with limited time, I'm here to discuss the retail operations that seem to be the holdup that would allow us to operate out of this building. The retail portion of our organization is a vital fundraiser. Bee Works sells refurbished bikes and then takes that funding to purchase materials for students and classes such as helmets, lights, and locks. We also use that funding as a local match for grants from both state and federal government. This is the main source of funding for youth and bicycle education in the city. Customers come from across the metro area on limited hours, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 8, and Saturdays 10 until 2, to visit our storefront and support what has become one of the best social enterprises in the region. A couple of key points I do want to point out is, as you might have noticed on some of the letters of support, they are a little bit older. We started collecting them early last year. These letters are older because we started that process of buying this building by first going to the residents. We started working with the church after that point, only after we had Shaw neighborhood support and the CID from Florida and the Alderwoman's support as well. Our hours of operation, numbers, and kids, how we be a good neighbor are all things we discuss at multiple different meetings with the community around the building. Second, Evan can probably speak to this better than I can, but there's a bunch of stuff in the SLUID plan that identifies this section of Grand as a higher intensity corridor, more walkable buildings, more amenities that serve the neighborhoods, types of commercial activities and uses, community serving institutions. We feel that what we're proposing fits these city plans perfectly. I will mention the parking, just because that seems to be a repetitive things that different people bring up, but in terms of traffic and parking, the church was originally designed to accommodate large weekly gatherings, meaning its parking capacity and traffic flow already exceeded what Bee Works will require. Unlike a traditional worship schedule with peak congestion on the weekends, Bee Works operates primarily during the standard business hours of 11 to 8, resulting in more consistent, significantly lower traffic volumes. We've also been working with the Jack in the Box next door, and I don't have the letter of support, but I do have some verbal agreements from them to share their parking lot with us as needed. Most importantly, this rezoning allows the purchase of this building, and it continues to fulfilling its original purpose of serving the community. And while the function has changed, the values have not, and the service and stewardship remain at the core of its proposal. Last, delaying this request puts the project in jeopardy and puts undue financial pressure on both our organization by shortening our moving times, as well as the church that currently owns it. I respectfully ask you to approve our request so that the building can remain an asset rather than vacancy, and the Sabia Works can continue to contribute positively to our city for the next 40 years and beyond. Thank you for your time.
Any board members have any questions? Jim?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vandertine, for appearing here. You mentioned, well, I keep seeing internal and external alterations, but it's not clear to me what the external alterations are. Are you trying to provide some parking?
No, I'm not sure where that came from either. The original plans that we submitted to the city have no altercations to the building, and we had no plans to do any exterior altercations to the building.
So, any window replacement, door replacement?
Maybe in the future, but we would have to obviously come back and get those permits in the future.
Gotcha. That typically the city, if there's as much as a window being replaced, that would qualify as exterior alterations.
Sure.
So even if there's truly no exterior alterations, Jim, a window would actually constitute that. So it could be something as simple as a window with no other alterations being done.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see any reference to that they plan to do anything, so that's why I asked it. Was just curious. Is this a second shop you're going to be operating to the one in Soulard, or are you going to be moving?
We would be moving our operations.
Okay. And you mentioned the parking at the Jack in the Box. You're working on that. Is there street parking on Grand? Is that where most of the parking you anticipate to be?
There's it looks like there's 44 spaces if you include Grand, or if you include the Jack in the Box parking lot. There's 16 on one side of Grand, and then just on the south of Flora, there's 6 on Grand. There's 4 behind the building, and then it looks like there's another 5 or 6 on it's not Longfellow, it's the one next to Jack in the Box. And so basically you have 44 parking spaces that are within very short distance of the front door. Our own internal parking studies, we saw the max we ever had for usually 2-hour windows was 20 vehicles.
I'm trying to get a sense of, if you don't have the Jack in the Box as an option, is there parking on Grand? Is it restricted, or is it open parking on Grand on both sides?
It's open parking on both sides of Grand.
Okay. And do people test ride these bicycles when they come to buy one?
Some do.
What would you think that they would ride their bicycles? Where would they ride those bicycles on the test ride?
I mean, Grand has a bike lane. There's also other residential streets around the neighborhood. It just depends upon how long of a ride they want to go out for.
Is there easy access to Flora Place from the alley for a bicycle to do a test ride back there?
There is.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I think that's all my questions.
Yes, Mama.
What will your hours of operation be, sir?
Currently, we operate to the public for retail operations is 11 to 7 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday, 10 until 2 on Saturday. But we will sometimes have an hour swing one way or the other, depending on the season. So sometimes in the summer we were going all the way till 8. because that's when our youth programs are running until. So it fluctuates just a little bit.
Okay, but your operation hours for just the business are Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday?
Monday through Thursday, we're closed Friday. We're here Saturday, and then we're closed Sunday.
Okay, and that Monday through Thursday hours, sir, are?
Monday and Wednesday, we're here 9 to 5. Tuesday and Thursday, we're here 11 to 7 or 8.
Got it. Okay, and then your youth programs, you do bicycle training, I believe, and would those kids actually would not ride on Grand, would they?
No, they would not be riding on Grand.
You would like direct them off onto Flora when you're teaching them and that kind of stuff, I would assume.
Yeah, we're very excited to have Tower Grove Park very nearby as well.
Okay, just checking. I know eventually they'll be out there on Grand, but just want to make sure. All right. I love the program. Sorry to see you leaving Soulard, but I get it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other board members have any questions? Thank you, Mr. Vanderton.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal? Is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits. Certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, memo from Planning and Urban Design, letter of support from Whitney Panetton, President, Flora Place Community Improvement District, letter of support from Alderman Danielle Velasquez, letter of support from Daryl E. Hughes, moderator, Compton Heights Christian Church, letter from T.J. Bross, board president, St. Louis Bee Works, letter of support from Gene Turney and Matt Jaworski, lead guides at City Garden Montessori School, Montessori. Letter of support from Jane Jackson, president, Shaw Neighborhood Association. A letter of support from Christian Bishop, 6th Ward resident, and a copy of street parking submitted by petitioner. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. Drea, can you read appeal number 11991?
Appeal number 11991, 6825 Southwest Avenue.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Again, my name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis, and I'll be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to construct a single-family dwelling per plans, zoning only at 6825 Southwest Avenue. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of Jade Swell concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue a building permit authorizing the petitioner to construct a single-family dwelling per plans, zoning only at 6825 Southwest Avenue, located in city block number 4811.00. Is as follows. The present zoning address is Zone A, single-family dwelling district. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to fix reasonable standards to which buildings and structures shall conform. The applicable zoning code provisions are section 26.08.080, building height of, the vertical distance measured from the curb grade or equivalent established grade at a point midway between the two side lot lines to the highest point of the roof in the case of a flat roof, to the deck line of a mansard roof, or to the mean height level between the eaves and ridge of a gable, hip, or gabriel roof, excluding church spires, except that where buildings are set back from the street line, the height on a building may be measured from the average elevation of the finished lot grade at the base of the front of the building. Also, section 26.16.020, structures prohibited. No structure shall be erected, placed, enlarged, or structurally altered unless such action shall make the premises upon which it shall stand conform to the regulations for the district in which the premises are located, unless authorized by the provisions of the zoning code. And then finally, section 26.20.050, height regulations. No building hereafter erected shall exceed 2.5 stories or 35 feet in height unless two side yards of not less than 10 feet in width are provided, in which case a building may not exceed 3 stories or 45 feet in height. Any church, school, or government building may be erected to the height of not to exceed 85 feet, provided that front and rear yards are increased in depth and the side yards are increased in width beyond the area regulations, 1 foot for each foot of height that the building exceeds 35 feet. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. So in summary, the applicant is applying for a single-family dwelling. The height of the building is 3 stories and 38 feet, 8 inches. The A district only allows for 2.5 stories and 35 feet. Therefore, an area variance would be required for height prior to approval. The City of St. Louis Planning and Urban Design Agency states there's no adopted neighborhood plan covering this location. The 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan calls this a medium intensity neighborhood. This designation describes areas of the city that are primarily residential. One of the explicit goals of the SLUP is to add density back into neighborhoods and to encourage infill development on vacant lots. The SLUP states a maximum of 3 stories for residential structures in a medium intensity neighborhood, but does not state a specific height maximum. Staff believes that the approval of this variance would be in keeping with the goals and the general regulations proposed in the SLUP. Therefore, planning staff finds the request of appeal number 11991 is in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan. Are there any questions from the board?
Quick question.
Yeah.
It can't be taller than 30 feet and we're at 35. I just wasn't getting all that as you said it. I'm sorry, as I was writing it down.
Not a problem. The code allows for a height of 2.5 stories and 35 feet.
35 feet.
Yep.
And we're 3 stories and 35 feet?
And this is 3 stories and 38 feet, 8 inches.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other board members have any questions? Okay, let's hear from the appellant. Is that going to be Max? Okay.
Yes.
Let's get you sworn in, Mr. Bimberg.
Raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Yeah, my name is Max Bimberg with Bimberg Architecture. Address is 4266 Russell Boulevards, St. Louis, Missouri 63110.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you everyone for your time this afternoon. And thanks Evan for the introduction to the project. As he mentioned, this is a new home that we're looking to construct in the Ellendale neighborhood along Southwest Avenue, which is in the A zone. As Evan also mentioned, we are looking at building a 3-story structure that is to the very top of the, there's going to be a roof deck. And so the 38-foot, 8-inch height that is being described is to the very top of that penthouse. I also want to make it clear that we are at 35 feet to the top of the side parapets on the side of that, or sorry, on the very top of the roof structure, so that those parapets are 35 feet high. And the actual top of the roof structure itself is at 34 foot 8 inches. Just to clarify a few things. So that is breaking down those height limits. So we are above the maximum height limit of 35 feet by 3 foot 8 inches, but that is to the top of the penthouse, which gives the stair access to a roof deck. We are also over the maximum number of stories. We currently have 3 stories, whereas in this A zone, currently 2.5 stories is permitted. Where Evan also did say that we are looking ahead to the city comprehensive plan, the SLOOP, and trying to look ahead to the changes there, which would allow for 3 stories when when the zoning changes do come into effect down the road. The main hardship that we're speaking to today is in this neighborhood of Ellendale. There's been a long history and much more recently of flooding in this area. There were some pretty bad floods in 2022, and then I believe also in 23, where much of this neighborhood had quite a bit of water damage. And a lot of the damage was a little bit further across Southwest Avenue, a little bit to the south. But in this area as well, there was quite a bit of damage to people that had basements and water damage in those areas. And so because of the potential for flooding or water damage, we're looking to have the ground floor of this structure be a somewhat resilient construction. So having a taller 4-foot concrete stem wall and using that space as garage so that if or when there ever is water down the road, we kind of have a more resilient construction up to about 4 feet or 4.5 feet that can handle that moisture. Rather than having the house itself built on a crawl space or a basement that we would have to worry about the water as down the road, we're trying to try to make an efficient use of space so that we're not just building a crawl space that we have to worry about venting and worrying about moisture down the road. So this garage space would be on the ground floor, and then the 2 levels above would be a 2-story second floor, and the 3rd floor would be for the house for Jade and his family. And so that is the main hardship here in this case is the potential for flood and the flood risk in that area. And then also trying to make a more efficient structure. And we do also have a letter of support from the alderman, Alderman Narayan, who has reviewed the drawings and has issued his letter of support. I also wanted to state that in this A zoning, you're only required to have 4-foot side setbacks on the 2 sides of the property. We're providing a 10-foot setback on the east side of the property and a 4-foot 10.5 setback on the west side. And just to help provide some more distance to our neighbors on each side, can also help buffer that height change there. So happy to answer any other questions. And Jade Sewell, who's the owner of the property, is also on the meeting via phone if there are other questions that I'm not able to answer. So thank you for your time.
Any board members have any questions? Yes, Jim.
Thank you, Mr. Benberg. Just one quick question. So the garage entrance, both on the front and the back, it appears?
The garage entrance is just from the alley, from the rear. There is a decorative garage door on the front, but there will be no curb cut and no vehicular access from the street. That's just there if on a nice day he wants to work on his cars or bikes or whatever, he can open up the front and kind of have that open. There will be some glass in that front-facing garage door, but there will be no curb cut and no driveway from the front. That's all from the rear.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. All right, and the drawings, the print is a little small, but I see where you're saying it's really at 35 feet until you get to, I guess that's you call that the parapet?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's where the extra 3 foot 8 inches come. Okay. All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other board members have any questions? Thank you, Mr. Benberg. Is there anyone here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay, is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits. Certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, memo from Planning and Urban Design, and a letter of support from Alderman Brett Narayan. With that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. Drea, can you read appeal number 11994?
Appeal number 11994, 2911 McNair Avenue.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Again, my name is Evan Winkler, Community Development Planner for the City of St. Louis, and I'll be representing the Building Commissioner. I'm here to present evidence of an appeal to convert a church into a mixed-use building with event center and 3 dwelling units per plan zoning only at 2911 McNair Avenue. I'd like to present as evidence for this case photos and aerials of the said property, plans for the project, and a certified copy of the City of St. Louis zoning ordinance. The basis for denial of Ebenezer Evangelical and Reformed Church, care of Laura McCullough, with Critical Hit Presents, LLC, concerning the building commissioner's refusal to issue a building permit, authorizing the petitioner to convert a church into a mixed-use building with event center and 3 dwelling units per plan zoning only at 2911 McNair Avenue, located in city block number 1970.00. The present zoning for this address is Zone C, Multiple Family Dwelling District. The intent of the applicable zoning provisions are to prevent additions to and alterations or remodeling of existing buildings or structures in such a way as to avoid the limitations lawfully imposed. The applicable zoning code provisions are section 26.08.115 dwelling unit, a room or group of rooms with cooking and sanitary facilities occupied or arranged for occupancy by a single family. Also section 26.20.020 and or 26.20.025. Use regulations and conditional uses of the C multifamily dwelling district do not allow the petitioner's proposal as stated above. Finally, section 26.20.040, parking for places of assembly, an arena, auditorium, meeting room, or other structure used principally as a place of public assembly shall provide a parking space within 1,000 feet of the main building or structure sufficient to accommodate 1 parking space for each 3 seats based on a maximum seating capacity, except as noted. Evidence of lawful nonconformity has not been presented. In summary, the applicant's applying to make interior-exterior alterations to a church building, and they'd like to convert it into a mixed-use building that will have event space and then 3 dwelling units. This is located in the C multiple family dwelling district. A breakdown a little bit of the space is that the first floor will include a wood shop, stained glass studio, several artist studios, some community space and meeting rooms, as well as storage and a laundry room. The second floor will include what was the sanctuary, will be used for event space. The only proposed construction on the second floor is actually to the attached rectory, which will incorporate 1 dwelling unit with both cooking and washing facilities. And then on the third floor, that will include the creation of suite-style dwelling units with a common area and kitchen and 2 sleeping rooms with full baths. In addition, the second story of the rectory will be converted to a dwelling unit with cooking and washing facilities. So all of that to say, in the C district, a use variance is required for mixed use, which is not permitted. In addition, places of assembly for the event spaces require conditional use approval in the C district. And then finally, an area variance is required for lack of parking. The place of assembly would require a significant amount of parking, but only, I believe, handicap parking is being proposed. So with that, the Planning and Urban Design Agency states that there's no adopted neighborhood plan covering this area. The 2025 Strategic Land Use Plan calls this a medium intensity neighborhood. These are neighborhoods that are intended to be primarily residential, with some neighborhoods serving commercial uses that support a mix of use types, including establishing new housing units and supporting new neighborhoods serving amenities and businesses. This designation does not specifically address the amount of on-site parking to be required. Therefore, planning staff finds the request of appeal number 11994 is in keeping with the city's comprehensive plan. Are there any questions from the board?
Okay, let's hear from the appellant. That be you, Mr. Freshner, or Ms. McCullough, who is...
I will speak first, and then I believe my business partner will be available to answer questions as well.
Okay, let's get you sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
My name is Laura McCullough, and my mailing address is 5509 South Broadway, St. Louis, Missouri, 63111.
Okay, proceed.
Matthew and I are the founders of Critical Hit Presents, and our intention is to have the church space honoring its historic nature as a place of assembly, used as an event center and a community center. The building does need significant repairs, particularly to the roof and flooring due to some water damage. And the attached portion that is in the design plans as 2 separate residential units was initially a parsonage. So our plans, we believe, are in line with the original intention of the building, and we have been very proactive in our efforts to communicate with the neighborhood association in Benton Park, as well as the alderperson. We have been working towards this since a little more than a year ago, and our request for this variance permit is prior to our closing of the property, because we wanted to make sure that our activities would be welcome in the neighborhood before we actually purchased the building. So in regards to the hardship, the multiple family dwelling district, I believe, is in line with our remodeling plans to accommodate the 3 dwelling units within the space. And my business partner, Matthew, intends to live on the first floor. So we will have like an on-site steward of the property who is also actively engaged in the neighborhood and neighborhood activities. The church does not wish to have the entire property remodeled into condos and dwelling units. And so they accepted our proposal for purchase based on the fact that we intend to use the space as a community center and event center so that we can coordinate with the existing businesses in the neighborhood and with the long-established Benton Park Neighborhood Association. The other hardship is the concern regarding parking. So there are existing handicap spots designated in front of the property on McNair Avenue, and we intend to keep those. There is no room on the property line for parking to be put in. The garden space on the south side of the property is a protected nature space, and there is a very, very small garden space on the north side of the parsonage, which could potentially have access for 1 or 2 vehicles, but we would prefer to keep that as green space. We met twice with the Building Review Committee for Benton Park and inquired, how would you like us to address the parking issue with the intention of having assemblies in this area? And we discussed with them the possibility of buying an additional lot within the neighborhood. But again, that would take away from green space. And so it was recommended to us, and we have agreed with the stipulations provided by Tim Mulligan, who you'll hear from later, that we will maintain neighborhood parking on the streets. And for any events that would have anticipated attendance of more than 100 people, we would provide a valet service to an existing parking lot, a few miles away. And so we are happy to work within those guidelines, as well as the other guidelines written by the neighborhood committee. We are eager to be able to have concerts and dances and neighborhood meetings. We are excited to provide artist spaces in the basement so that people can, collaborate and work together. And we intend to provide woodshop access, because a lot of the existing art studios that are available to rent do not currently have accessible resources for shared equipment. And so our plans, we believe, are to encourage neighborhood connection, encourage community gathering, and we've done a lot of research and direct contact with the neighbors to find out what they want in the space and how we can facilitate that. Finally, I just want to say that the guidelines for the multiple family dwelling district, I think we're like 2 lots over from where we could be commercial, but I understand because the location of the church being in the middle of a block instead of at the corner prevents us from that. So our commercial activities, we really intend to have just as much as the neighborhood use. We to I had
Laura, I think your feed actually froze for a bit. You're going to have to repeat
okay. What
maybe
was the
the
last
last
thing you
minute of
heard?
what you were talking about the church and it being sort of in the middle of the block and why. And I think right around that time is when it cut off.
Okay. Apologies and thank you. Just because it's in the middle of the block, we don't have a way to provide additional parking, but using the existing neighborhood flow of traffic, and because we are close to Benton Park, where they have other events like the summer concert series and things, which draws much more than 100 attendants, I believe that our activities would fit within the limitations proposed to us by the board of the Building Review Committee.
Okay, any board members have any questions? Jim?
Thank you, Ms. McCullough. Maybe my first question might be directed more to Evan, but this is the first that I've noticed that the appellants don't own the property yet. So my first question is, would the variances survive the sale of the property, or would we have to go through this process again?
It would stay with the property. A variance is with the land.
That's what I thought. Okay. Ms. McCullough, you mentioned potential for agreeing to valet parking, and you said a couple of miles away. It sounds like you've already got a parking lot identified.
We don't have a current business connection, but we know that there are some parking lots that we could coordinate valet service with over in Soulard, which would not be prohibitive to people wanting to participate. I think our target attendants are going to be people who already live in the neighborhood within walking distance. So I think we could find valet service when needed, but it's not something we anticipate using regularly.
Evan, is a valet requirement of a valet service, at least as an option? Can that be part of the conditional uses?
There have been conditions in the past related to requirements of, securing a valet service.
Okay. And I noticed that one of the letters of support from the neighborhood association basically took, it looks like to me, some of the standard condition use. Are you familiar with which letter I'm talking about, Evan?
Yeah, I don't have it out in front of me. Let me grab it here.
Should we read those conditions if we so choose to go with all those?
We can read them. Yeah, sure.
Or do we have to, I guess is.
Have you guys seen the letter from Benton Park? Laura, have you
Ms. McCullough, have you seen it?
Yes, we met with Tim last night after the neighborhood meeting, and we went through every bullet point on that suggested list. Yes, all 19 of them.
Okay. Do you have any concerns or questions about those?
No, all of our questions were answered prior to this meeting today. So I believe Matthew and I are prepared to organize our business within these guidelines.
Okay. And Jim, does that satisfy your concerns about these conditions?
Yes.
Thanks.
On also the handicap spots, do those stay with the property as well, Evan? The existing handicap spots?
Well, so that's building code.
Building code, okay.
Yep.
But your intention is to keep those handicap spots?
Yes, one of the concerns of the existing church and the neighborhood is that the building is older and it's not fully compliant with ADA accessibility. So in addition to keeping those handicap spots, we also intend to renovate the bathrooms to make them accessible. And our long-term vision, 3 to 5 years down the road, is to install a 2-story lift, because right now the only access between the basement, the ground floor, and the second floor are large stairwells. There's no stair lift, there's no elevator. And so we would like to make it accessible to everyone by installing a lift in a portion of the building that formerly held the pipes for the organ. Those pipes have been removed and sold, so it does leave a vacant space that fits within the size requirements for a small lift that would allow access for a wheelchair between those 3 levels.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other board members have any questions? Okay, thanks, Ms. McCullough. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Mr. Mulligan, let's get you sworn in.
Yes.
Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Okay, can you state your name and mailing address for the record?
Timothy Mulligan, 3117 Lemp Avenue, 63118.
Okay, proceed.
We have enjoyed meeting with Laura and Matthew, over this past year. And we were, I guess it was a disappointment to learn just through a realtor listing, that the church, was put up for sale about 2 years ago. So we knew, that the congregation would be moving on. And we really weren't certain of what was going to come of it. And so, within the building review committee, I think collectively, we knew this was an important building in the neighborhood, as it has served the community for, over 100 years. In working with Laura and Matthew, we kind of came up with a designation that there's, average size events. And I guess we were patterning, that impact on the neighborhood, much like when the church, held services, on Sundays. And then, during the week, the Benton Park Neighborhood Association, had long been utilizing, the assembly area, in the church, or if we were anticipating, a large group, we would actually, meet in the nave of the church.
Tim, can you speak just a little bit louder? It's difficult to
Oh.
hear you for some of our board members and us.
Sorry. Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. So we were sort of based on, that there's the average size events, which would have been, their Sunday worship, and then most of our neighborhood meetings, tended to be, anywhere from, 45 to 90 people. And granted, within the neighborhood, a lot of those, neighbors walk to the meetings. So there really wasn't, a parking impact. When we had, a few community, meetings, it's our observation that there's a lot of street parking actually along McNair, alongside the church side of the street on the west side, as well as across the street. And then we have a sort of a secondary, major kind of a street, Pestalozzi, which is, to the north, which is, I didn't measure the pavement, but it's close, 50 feet, curb to curb. So it accommodates, parking on both sides, as well as, cars of opposing direction passing safely. So, that generally is lightly parked when we have our neighborhood meetings or other meetings. So that's where we, sort of, felt that, while this will be an impact to the neighborhood, it's not a imposition. The larger events we recognize, could be, an imposition. So that's where we, sort of required, utilizing, a valet service, as well as keeping the frequency of those events to, 2 times per month. And, while that may impact some of the immediate neighbors, it's not an every weekend, type of occurrence. And so I think that's where we were, supportive of it and very anxious to welcome them to the neighborhood.
Okay, any board members have any questions?
Yeah.
No. Thanks, Tim. Is there anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Ms. McCullough, your testimony has already been
I
noted
just
and given.
had a question regarding the petition and the neighborhood signatures. I know that document has been shared with the board. I wasn't sure if it needed to be brought up again.
No, we have that. Thank you. Anyone else here to testify in favor of this appeal? Okay, is there anyone here to testify in opposition to this appeal? Hearing none, I will read into the record exhibits. Certified copy of the zoning ordinance, appeal to the board, basis of denial, meeting notice letter, City Journal public notices, photographs, Sanborn maps, memo from Planning and Urban Design, 4 pages of signatures for those in support submitted by the petitioner, and a letter of support from Timothy Mulligan, Building Review Committee Chair, Benton Park Neighborhood Association. And with that, I will consider this appeal having been heard. And with that, that concludes the testimonial portion of our hearing. We will now go into deliberations. Laura, I thank you for your service.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
Commissioners, shall we continue or do we need a 5-minute recess?
Continue.
Continue.
Okay. So says all. 5857 Julian Avenue, appeal number 20614.
I'm inclined to uphold the building commissioner.
I'm feeling quite comfortable with with having a mind to have them go back and make sure they speak with everybody on that block. I think that one of the challenges here is that some people may have felt a little disrespected that they didn't get that interaction, that they really needed. They felt like they were just, run over, So I think that if possibly, if they had an opportunity to go door to door and really talk to the residents or assemble everybody and really talk about what they're trying to do, although, few of them here was making mention of the fact that the block was quiet. And they're older people like quiet, but maybe they need an opportunity to really get in there, really talk to the people, build their relationship, and see what might come of that.
I would like to bring up that if it was a home daycare with 10 kids, that's one thing. But to put a commercial building, alternate commercial building, residential building into commercial in the middle of the block, and once you make that decision, it can always be commercial. Well, it can always be a daycare. It bothers me that you're putting that into a residential area. That is my biggest concern. I didn't see a hardship regarding this at all, other than that they own the building.
Well, the other thing was that they said that they had communicated with 80% of the block and only one person was in favor of it. I don't know what 80% represents, but 80% is still 80%.
I have no problem in sending them back out to sea, but you're talking slowing them down for another 3 or 4 months, probably before we can get them back on the agenda. Even if they did it tomorrow, they'd still have time to wait because we'd be sending them back to get it. I'm surprised they didn't come in with a letter or some sort of confirmation that the alderman was in favor of it. So I just don't see the support, and I don't see why we would want to put a commercial building in the middle of the block in a residential area. That's my biggest concern.
That was my concern from the get-go.
Would someone like to make a motion?
Mary, do you have something to say?
No.
Okay, I saw the green line around you. Thought you were going to say something.
I'll make a motion to uphold the building commissioner.
I'll second to see where it goes.
Motion made by Mona, seconded by Joe. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. All of those opposed?
I oppose.
Motion carries. Appeal number 11990, 2149 South Grand.
I know he's been looking for a while. He lost his lease in Soulard. They said they wouldn't renew. I know he's got some stuff to do to get it up and operational. They got a pretty big operation in Soulard. I don't have a problem with this. I think they'll protect the kids.
My only concern is he may be able to use some of the Jack in the Box parking, but there's nothing, no definition of how many spaces that he can get, what time frame, or if there's any insurance issues or anything like that with them using the parking lot. I don't think Jack in the Box is going to have their insurance cover somebody else that's not a customer. So that would be my concern with using the Jack in the Box parking without defining how many spaces they can use, which spaces they can use, and what times they can use it.
I think
That's
that
why
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just saying that's why I was trying to delve into a little bit where the parking is, outside of Jack in the Box, where the parking is, and whether there's any restricted parking on Grand. So I got comfortable that there's probably going to be enough parking absent the Jack in the Box. Janine, I'm sorry.
No problem, Jim. No problem. I thought I remembered him saying that they had like 40 spaces, and then with insurance, any broker could add an endorsement on that policy, because you're thinking about things commercial and get pretty complicated. But a good broker can make sure that there's an endorsement that exists on the policy to cover any risk that might show itself up. And the community is very walkable. So I used to live in Botanical Heights, and my son attended City Garden Montessori from when he was kindergarten all the way up to when he graduated 8th grade. And that whole area over there, Grand and all that, very walkable. I was excited to see that his 6th grade teacher had signed that letter of support. My son decided in the 6th grade that he wanted to be an electrical engineer. And I believe it had a lot to do with Mr. Jaworski. So I would say if Mr. Jaworski is on board with it, there's got to be something that's going to be really amazing going on in that space. I like the whole concept of community and bikes and fixing bikes and doing all that that hands-on stuff, feed the mind and get all that creativity going. So I think this is an awesome opportunity for the community, and it is in alignment with I guess anything that's really going to excite kids, be another thing for them to get connected to in the community. I think it's really a great opportunity.
I am also concerned on the parking of how much of the 44 spaces he had was on street parking as opposed to parking that he can control.
Yeah, just want to point out the PowerPoint, one of the pages in the packet is it looks like it's a printout of a PowerPoint presentation. It says the 44 parking space if Jack in the Box shares its lot. Okay. I did not write down how many generally there's spots on Grand, but as I said, I was comfortable that there's enough parking spots on Grand to manage the flow of traffic to the building. I just don't think the building in Soulard gets a lot of foot traffic or people going into that building to buy bicycles on a daily basis. So just based on what I've witnessed in Soulard, I'm comfortable that there's enough parking on Grand itself that would support the amount of traffic. When I say traffic, I mean foot traffic going in and out of that building.
Well, I think he testified that there were 6 parking spaces on Grand on his side of the road. And the other parking spaces he was talking about was on the other side of a 4-lane street. I don't really consider that convenient parking for people who run across Grand Avenue with 80,000 cars going back and forth daily.
Yeah, good point.
At least not kids. There's not a ton of traffic that goes in and out of that building. I've listed a house across the street from that. I sold a house right next door to that. Patrick was a fine neighbor there with Bicycle Works. As far as, ongoing traffic, I didn't experience a problem with patrons coming and going on there. I think their biggest day, in my opinion, was Saturdays. And it wasn't even problematic on Saturdays there as far as foot traffic or car traffic. I mean, you had kids that, learned to ride their bicycles. Wasn't problematic.
I'm bringing up,
use
Mona,
them out the alley to over to Flora or over to Tower Grove. I just don't see, and I didn't experience a ton of cars. I just didn't experience it.
my points are just bringing up what we would do with anybody that's claiming street parking as their parking. The building has no parking, and I guess when they were having services there, they just kind of parked all over the neighborhood. So
Probably.
And if this is a less impactful environment because it's not 60 or 80 people showing up on Sunday morning and having to park their cars outside, it's probably okay. I'm just bringing up my standard concerns about counting street parking in your parking requirements, because the zoning code takes that into account already. So I was just bringing that up as a question.
Oh, no, I think it's fine to discuss all of that, and I appreciate all of that. I was just giving you my experience with Bicycle Works as a whole.
I have no experience with it.
And that's what that's what I was also saying, Joe. I don't see a lot of cars going in and out of the building, which is 4 blocks from my house. It is one option that we put in a use that they actually have to get an agreement with Jack in the Box. Is that generally an option for us to consider?
It is sometimes.
I would say yes, because Jack could next week say, "Oh no, you got too many cars coming in here. We don't want it anymore."
I don't know if it's going to be realistic for them, though. When we're dealing with a corporate entity like that, they may not be able to get something in writing where they could get something verbally from them. But I don't know if corporate would actually give it to them. I don't know if that Jack in the Box is owned by corporate or if it's an individually owned one. I mean, it's something that we could put on there, and if they're not able to get it, Jim, they could come back and ask us to change it. I mean, that is an option as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's my inclination. I mean, he's the one who brought up the Jack in the Box right there on the PowerPoint. He brought it up in his discussion. I mean, we're not the ones who asked about it. He's the one who's talking about that's where the parking is going to be.
Yes,
or could be. Could be.
Mary?
If you guys
Thank you,
feel that
Mr.
there's
Chairman.
not enough.
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. Go ahead, Mary.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So on the subject of the condition, so I just want to remind the board that we weren't able to determine the parking for this use because the parcel is zoned A. But had they been in like the F district, they would have had the option of getting a parking agreement for their required parking anywhere within, I believe it's 1,000-foot radius. Correct me if I'm wrong, Evan. So the only reason I bring that up is maybe instead of considering a condition that says you must get your parking agreement from Jack in the Box, you would consider a condition about just getting a parking agreement from anywhere within that radius. That gives them a little more options if you were going to consider. I'm just throwing that out there as a suggestion. That's all.
If the traffic isn't there, if there aren't that many people coming to the building, I think I can handle it on the street parking or off the alley or wherever he was at. My concern is that it's a big building. You can put a lot of people in there. If they have an event that a lot of people show up, you need a lot of cars. But I don't see where if the traffic isn't there, I'm not going to worry about it. And we have two board members that are familiar with his operation in Soulard, and both of them have said they've never had a problem with over traffic. So I'll make a motion to approve.
I will second.
Do we want to put some hours on there?
Put some what on there?
Hours. I think, yes, the hours that he testified.
I got them.
State
11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. 10 to 3 on Saturdays. Mondays. Through Thursday, 9 to 5.
Monday and Wednesday.
Thank you. Help me.
Yep.
Closed all the other times, and it needs a dumpster.
Yeah, commercial
And
dumpster
probably-
would be good.
And if we could have a trash receptacle at the front door. You know how I am. I like to
I
keep
know.
clean. I keep clean.
Do you want the signage
Oh, yeah.
required to get a
Sign permit.
signage permit? And do you want the nuisance?
Always.
I
I'm helping
agree with
you.
all of Mona's options there. I still
Yeah.
hold my motion, but I want to include those things. Okay.
Thank you all.
I'll second.
Actually,
Jim
Jim
had a-
seconded.
Jim second.
that,
I apologize. I'm
but
stepping on you, Jim. Sorry about
given-
that.
Given the amendment to Joe's motion, Jim, do you second the amendment?
Yes, I second with amendment.
Okay. Motion made by Joe, seconded by Jim. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All of those opposed? Motion carries. Findings, Joe?
As conditioned will not be a detriment.
Okay. Appeal number 11991, 6825 Southwest Avenue.
This is the
We
house,
have-
right?
Yeah, it's the house. I don't have a problem with this.
Yep.
Anybody else?
No, I'd make a motion to approve.
Motion
Second.
made by Joe, seconded by Mona. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Findings, Joe?
Will not be a detriment.
Okay, appeal number 11994, 2911 McNair Avenue.
Well, this is around the corner from me. I've been to multiple meetings about this thing. Community seems to be fine with it. I'm okay with it. Anybody else?
The only thing that I'm concerned about is the valet parking. I mean, anybody been to a valet park their car where your car gets parked 2 miles away?
Nope.
No.
You
Been
don't
to
have to
valet.
walk it. They bring it back to you.
Well, a valet takes 20 minutes to walk 2 miles each way.
They want to get
Well,
tipped
hopefully
or
they'll have
run
a
or
golf
check.
cart.
Yeah, I guess so, but that's still a long way away, even if somebody's if the valets are going back and forth by golf cart. But we're not, do we need to say valet parking within a certain distance, Mary, to make it more reasonable?
I think that's up to you guys.
Okay.
I don't even want to mention valet parking in the approval.
We have a list
There you
of
go, Joe.
something from the Bound Park community. They got a list of things on their
Number 7.
yeah, I thought I had it in front of me. Now I don't.
Yeah, it's Exhibit J. If anybody, it's the last page of the packet that we got for this property.
Yeah.
So number 7, they said they were amenable to it. Number 7 says larger events greater than or equal to 100. The applicant will provide valet parking. No valet parking on neighborhood streets. I mean, I'm sure the appellant would be okay if we struck that requirement.
Yeah, I
But
mean, the board is always free to,
it's
like you're free to consider recommendations for conditions. You're also free to consider not putting conditions on there if you feel for some reason, we just can't monitor them or that they're not important in the operation of the business. Whatever your reason is, it's your choice.
My problem with the valet parking is they might say don't park on the public streets, but they probably will. And nobody's got to be out there monitoring them or telling them where they can or can't. There's not any way that we could enforce that.
That is a good point. It would be hard for a zoning inspector to tell what was, cars parked on the public street, what were at that event space and what were just parked there.
I say we could put it on there and then we could figure it out if it becomes a problem. It gives us an avenue to try to monitor it, at least an avenue for the residents to go, look, these are people at the patron, and we can show you, here it is.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts to put it on there. I will say, when we go out to do inspections, we try to get on those as soon as the complaint comes in. So unless they have an event that happens to be on the same day that we're out there doing a complaint, it would just always look like they're meeting that condition.
Yeah, unless the residents provide information.
There are several residents. I'm sorry, Mona. Were you saying?
No, it's fine. That's fine.
There are several residents that basically live on that block or very close to it. So I think that if there's any issues, they would more likely say, hey, wait a minute, they would raise an alarm. And the neighborhood association, these folks are very vigilant over there. So I don't really see a real problem with anything that has to do with this. I think that this mixed use conversion would be really a welcome thing into the community. And it's going to really, it has a whole lot of the good stuff, that communities really want to see. And it will drive a sense of community inside the community, more of a sense of community. Not saying the community doesn't exist there, but it's a very walkable neighborhood already. and people like connectivity, which is why they move to places like that. So this mixed use building is really going to add to the community. And if this thing goes sideways, they will not. They will get on that. I don't think we have to really be concerned about how they're going to get down in their own neighborhood about this thing.
Yeah, I didn't want to get everybody hung up on the valet parking necessarily. So I guess we just need to decide whether that's something we want to put in there.
I think it personally that it should probably go in, whether we can actually monitor it. Yeah, probably not, but it doesn't hurt. It gives a potential avenue should there be any problems.
I'll make a motion to approve with all of the things that the Benton Park Review Committee put on it. And I'd like to add a trash can at the exterior entrances to be emptied. Evan, at events.
Can we also add nuisance, shall not be issued a nuisance letter?
Always nuisance.
Thank you.
Please, sir. And we have the dumpster on there. Is that correct, sir?
No, doesn't look like it.
Always a dumpster. You know, I'm the dumpster queen.
Oh, it is. It is that right?
Mary laughing at me.
No, sorry, I'm coughing.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, we got a motion by Mona. I'll second that motion. Motion made by Mona, seconded by me, with all of the conditions stated. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All of those opposed? Motion carries. Findings, Mona?
Won't be a detriment as conditioned.
Okay. Meeting minutes.
I wasn't here.
I reviewed and I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the December 17th, 2025 meeting.
Yes.
I will say thank you, Jim, and I'll second it.
Motion made by Jim, seconded by Joe. All of those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Minutes are approved.
Who gets the assignment for the minutes before the next meeting?
Please
wanna
remember,
dump it on-
permanent board members, if you haven't come in to sign the rules, please go in to sign the rules so that we can get those approved with the Board of Aldermen.
I will be there tomorrow.
Mona, is there a good time for you?
I reached out to Dre already.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks.
No problem. I followed instructions.
Pardon?
I followed instructions.
Oh, thanks. We have a meeting next week, so we'll see you guys. I hope everyone had a good holiday.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I will. I guess I will be here for my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah.
Well, a week from today.
So they'll spend it with us.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yay.
All right, see y'all next week. Are we done?
Well, not
We
yet.
need a motion to adjourn if you're finished.
Motion to can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second. Motion made by Mona, seconded by Jim. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we
Aye.
stand adjourned. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks,
See you guys,
everybody.
everybody.
Have a good day.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.
Thanks, Elsie.
I know.